everyone, welcome to Marketing Daily Show. Here we bring you the most updated news from small business technology. Today we are glad to have Mr. Cheese Dollar from the Storage Corp and Mr. Xavier from IMC Consulting Company to come to our show and share with their stories and experience. So Mr. Cheese Dollar, what type of business are you in?
Well, our business is basically into the external hard drive, and we're actually targeting small to medium businesses.
So what were the main problems?
The problem that Mr. Chase Dollar came to us was that they were not able to achieve the targets that they had for their product. We did a quick survey and we realized that the product features were well positioned and well perceived by the market. It was really that there was a lack of awareness and there was a lack of the kind of demand generation that was being put into the market. So there was a lack of penetration, we felt, basically. And we looked at the media plan, the communications plan that Storage Corp had, and Mr. Chase Dollar helped us in coming up with an improvement on that plan in order to better reach the consumers.
So more specifically, what kind of segments of the marketing plan do you look at?
So we look basically at 5 segments of the plan: promotions, advertising and PR, trade advertising, direct marketing, and finally social media marketing. And the whole basis for our strategy was the fact that this is actually a product which is not a hedonistic purchase. It would fall in the CPM category, and so cognition tends to be, a higher cognition tends to be required for understanding and using this product. Therefore, our communication was, the heuristics of the communication was bright colors, vivid logos, attractive communication, and it was all text-based persuasion. We relied more on that. Finally, because this is a product which is in the preventive space rather than the detection space, we had a more gain framing on the message. So it was more like, what can you gain by using this product rather than what could you lose by not using this product.
Okay, so
So, like I said, we work together on 5 things, and promotions. Let me talk to you first about promotions and events. So we suggested to them schemes by which they could bundle the product with their servers and workstations above a value of, say, about $2,000, because we felt it was a price point that bundling would work at. We incentivize partners on giving them free units on achieving a certain level of sales. We incentivized different categories of partners, some by free shipping on conditional achievement of sales. We rolled out a promotion where we seeded small business associations. So we told them that it would be advisable to go with small business associations and form relationships. So we seeded by putting in some demo units over there. And finally, volume-based incentives to customers, end customers. So if they purchase a certain number, we give them a certain number free or at a discount or something like that. So we put in place those promotions. And in terms of events, we looked at more doing things like us doing events for small business associations, sponsoring them, speaking at those events, speaking at other storage industry events, which we felt was very useful. And we also looked at being able to sponsor small business associations and do roadshows for customers and explain the product to them, because it's very much an experiential product. So that was how we handle promotions and events.
Right, so what do you do for the social media plan? Like what kind of social media platforms you used and how you're going to measure it?
We advise them to look at LinkedIn and also Facebook, because we felt a fan page at Facebook can be created at minimum cost, and it's a very useful tool for really generating user feedback on the performance of the product, on the service levels, also on further improvements in the product. So we wanted them to look at building communities, building relationships with the customer, leveraging the network they build in terms of, and a lot of IT professionals are there on LinkedIn. So we felt it was a really useful and cost-effective way to reach the customer. So we felt that at one side we had more expensive promotions, events, advertising, and on the other side we had really cost-effective networks through LinkedIn and Facebook, and which would give us a lot of feedback about how the customers were perceiving the product, as well as generate some word of mouth for us.
Great. So in terms of measurement, do you have a plan how to measure the social media? Because social media compared to other is hard to measure, right?
Sure. So as you mentioned from your experience, of course, it's always difficult to measure social benefits from social media. But we are looking at some concrete metrics in terms of the number of qualified leads that we are getting from here, number of pre-sales reference calls that we are getting from these two communities, the cost per number of engaged prospects. So what is the cost that we invested into building these communities, and what is the number of prospects we have, in terms of how many people are engaged with us on that page, or our fans, or anything like that.
Right.
And we're going to benchmark it against some other comparable products, so to see that we are on an effective basis. We are going to have customer satisfaction metrics, and we are going to ensure that those metrics are met on those sites as well. Finally, we are going to look at the revenue rate of product ideas adopted from the two social media platforms. So if we link the purchases that is being made through those platforms, then we can get an idea of how much revenue is generated through people going on those two platforms.
So I believe our audience is also interested in how you have the advertising and trade segment implanted.
Right. So like I mentioned to you earlier, we focused on clearly specifying what is the messaging and what is the advertising aspect of it, because the messaging needs to come out very clearly on this. And the second thing we did is we looked at going more into trade advertising. So we focused on the IT magazines like CIO, PC Magazine, PC World. We did advertisements there. Very importantly, we looked at also verticals. So we have certain verticals which are heavy users of data and which create heavy quantities of data. So BFSI is manufacturing, retail. We looked at advertising also in magazines specific to the businesses of these industries. We looked at inserting certain kinds of messages into that advertising. So it could be just a plain advertisement of a product, or articles or editorials that are talking about a product. And in the editorials, we looked at inserting messages such as one of the main features of our product is a hands-free usage. So it backs up with minimum or no human intervention. So we looked at getting that message across. We had IDC do a very favorable comparison on our product, and we looked at getting that kind of message across in the trade journals. So effectively, then we looked at getting the kind of promotions that we are doing for our channel partners. We looked at getting that message across. We looked at also getting messages across related to the advantages for the end customer. So basically the whole system of promotions and messages, we wanted to put everything hand in hand and get that across to the channel and to the customer. So we felt this was the best way to do it. So on the direct marketing aspect of the marketing communications plan, we improved on the messaging on the mailer. So we looked at hands-free messaging, mailers to SMB customers. We looked at opt-in mailing, so people who visit the website could opt in to receive offers, and then we'd send them offers based on the product. We sent mass mailers also, as well as targeted mailers to the SMB customers. And then finally on the promotions, we sent mailers about the partner-oriented promotions to the partners. We are looking at doing consumer surveys to find out how much the advertising in the trade magazines and trade journals affected the awareness of the product. And we are also looking at based on the call-ins to the telecenters, and based on the promotion codes utilized, and based on point of sale feedback, we are looking at tabulating how much the direct marketing activities and how much the trade promotions and the events led to awareness of sales.